On the drive home after a bad day at work, you say to yourself, I'm done working for someone else. As an entrepreneur, focus on your intrinsic motivators. When you start your business, and even after you make a few hires, it still gets lonely at the top. So when you have these intrinsic motivators, it will help you keep going when the going gets tough. I don't know if this is the same for everyone, but for me, motivations change over time. When I started the business, my motivation was Maslow's lower tiers of needs, basically shelter and food on the table. I had a young family, a short financial runway, and no customers. Yet that motivated me to be out there knocking on doors to get sales and to grow the business. This is one kind of motivation, do or die, totally extrinsic. And some people freeze or don't know what to do when they're faced with these types of challenges. Later, I found deeper motivation that inspired me to take action. In this mini-series, I'll cover 5 ways entrepreneurs can find intrinsic motivations. Number 1, the glamour of being your own boss. Number 2, to have a challenge. Number 3, building something unique. Number 4, promoting a higher social value. And number 5, financial security and financial independence. Let's jump into the first one, the glamour of being your own boss. On the drive home after a bad day at work, you say to yourself, I'm done working for someone else. I want to start my own business. Or the corporate red tape is just becoming too frustrating, or that salary increase did not meet your expectations, or a number of reasons that could just frustrate you and you're really ready to take it to the next level and start your own business. Or it could be that your side hustle, that was a hobby, is picking up pace and you're ready to take it full time. You're at a point where you want to be your own boss. You're not alone in this thinking. Depending on what research you read, anywhere from 40 to 50 to 60% of people want to start their own business. A lot of people are not happy with their current job. I studied engineering, ended up in marketing. You might have studied something else, you thought you liked it, but now maybe not so much. Or maybe the company culture is awful. There's toxicity, discrimination, there could be harassment, or there could be just bad management. Or you're at a company that's great, the perks are amazing, yet you have a jerk as a boss. They don't listen to you, they don't help you grow. All these reasons and more could be behind your decision to leave and start your own business. The glamour of being your own boss is rewarding. It feels great at first. But just like teenager puppy love, it could die off quickly if you're not ready for that commitment. If that doesn't motivate you, what would? Sometimes it takes a certain amount of pain to make a change. My advice here is that becoming your own boss is a legitimate motivator. Develop it, nurture that idea. But at the same time, don't underestimate what it takes for you to start that business. So yes, dream about it, nurture that idea, research it, talk to others before you take that leap. The second way to develop the entrepreneurial motivation is to look for a challenge. Early on, I've heard of a story of a businesswoman, a very successful businesswoman, who would wake up every morning and look at her competitors' websites. She would look if they have new offers, they have new client logos, new testimonials, press releases. She wanted to know everything her competitors were doing so she can be ahead of them. She did not wish them ill or anything, she just wanted to be ahead. That's how competitive she was. I took this story to heart. I was looking at our top 3 competitors. I was looking at their websites every day. What client logos they were getting, what certifications they were getting. If I saw any of our competitors with a new certification, I would go to our team and nudge them. Hey folks, we gotta get the certificates. If I see them getting new client logos, man, that started something inside of me. I gotta get the next bigger client. If they were getting a Fortune 500 client, I wanted to get a Fortune 100. If they were speaking at a conference, I would reach out to the conference organizer and see if I can also be a speaker. I followed everything they did. And in a future video, I'll cover some stories about blindly following competitors. There's some amusing stories and some with some terrible endings. But even if you haven't started your new business yet, you can build that competitiveness and you can build that motivation at your current job. I'll go over some examples now. First, maybe you feel underutilized. Look for opportunities to assume more responsibilities at your current role. Vertically, by maybe going from a technical person to becoming a manager, or by becoming a subject matter expert in a specific area, or horizontally by assuming some cross-functional responsibilities. These skills can come very handy when you start your own business. Or sometimes your company isn't offering growth opportunities. So look for things outside the company. For example, as I've mentioned before, I always put time into nonprofits and volunteer. And where I was working as a hardware design engineer, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunities to do project management. And I loved managing tasks and getting things done. So my side hustle at the time was my volunteer time, my volunteer work to support these nonprofits and assume project management responsibilities to help those nonprofits. A byproduct of that is that I learned more about project management. So again, the idea is to grow, is to learn, whether you do it in your current job, if there are opportunities to grow, or you do it for a nonprofit, or at your kids' school, whatever it is, find ways to learn. Having said that, make sure whatever you do outside of work does not encroach on what you're doing at work, does not take away from the energy, from the time commitment that you have for your full-time job. Another scenario, and you hear a lot about that in Silicon Valley, is when there are mergers and acquisitions. When a company acquires another company, yes, there are concerns about layoffs and redundancy, but my advice to those with an entrepreneurial spirit is to look for opportunities to be very active in this merger and acquisition. Look for roles that help integrate the two products or the two services or the two companies. You'll learn about growing companies in a non-organic way. So in this mini-series, we covered the intrinsic motivations, the extrinsic motivations, and we also covered the importance of entrepreneurs to have and develop these intrinsic motivators. They'll last with you for a long time. Next, we'll cover new ways to build that intrinsic motivation. It's about building something unique. And don't forget to give back. Today's thought is set up a donation matching program in your company. If you can't afford to do that today, at least plan on when you can do it. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And I'd love to hear from you in the comment section about how you are motivating yourself.